Round two, about to get underway then. Two sides in form, albeit for just 1 week. Adelaide, surprise winners last week. The Saints did start favourites. The umpires tonight, McBurney, Wynn and Ryan, all three umpired Friday Night Football last week.
Standard setup, 6 forwards, 6 backs on either end, which is unusual. No numbers to support as yet.
We're underway. Now the ruckman touched the ball. Knights crashes in. Marriage gets a hand pass out. Well worked by Otten. In trouble was Vince, assisted by Van Berlo. McKay goes back to Vince. Very busy last week. 35 possessions stolen that time. Ball across to Montagna outside the 50. It bounces down towards the goal and misses out to the left-hand side. Just talking about those umpires, umpire Ryan has changed his number tonight. I think if I was an umpire, I'd do that weekly, but he's number 33 instead of number 25.
Lee Montagna would have been very disappointed with that. That's his bread and butter. Through the top of the 50-metre arc and just didn't connect.
Strong wind at going to the Crows' direction, though.
John Cock to Riley to Marriage.
Not off yet, that's the mark.
It's a big job for Marriage tonight. Got a couple of experienced ruckmen to beat in King and also Gardner. So Doughty, that's a good kick. Creating some space, Van Berlo. So Van Berlo running hard, and then with a high ball, hard to mark. Tippett takes off, so did Henschel. Belt from the back, Propletia, well done. They coming across the front was McQualter. Back to Tippett.
High on Baker. Fend off high on Baker, free kicks.
One of the things that did happen early in the game, Andrew McLeod has started across half forward. For the Crows, I don't know how long he'll be there. His ability to run off half back is really what makes the Crows really damaging offensively.
Only 2 games last season for Stevie Baker. Great to see him back. Had 16 possessions against Sydney. Racks up a couple right there in the back pocket. Off hands. Del Santo running out of space. Gilbert played it well. Fed it forward around the outer side. They work. Ball to Gardner. Now Ray hugs the boundary line. In fact, puts it out of bounds on the full. Darren Ray played well last week. John Cock back in the side after personal tragedy. In short to McKay. Just beyond the wing. Saints by a point. Early going.
Play on.
Told to play on. Packed house. Drives it just inside the 50. Good work behind by Fisher, but it spills to Tippett. Pulls it back towards full forward Henschel. Bounced off his chest. Poor Pleasure.
When the ball went forward, then 3 St Kilda players, they were all dropping back into the to protect the 50-metre zone. But the one Crow, good play by Tippett. He won really the 2 against 3, and there was really the Propletia who knows where to get to the front of the pack, where the ball is going to go most of the time off that marking contest deep forward.
Pleasure's manned up by Sam Gilbert at the moment, and you might think that's a matchup, and even more so after the last goal or the first goal of the game. But Paul Pleasure's a very dangerous target, but the Saints rate Gilbert as a defender. They'll give him every chance.
Well, Bucksy kicked the winning goal last week, didn't he? Basically, Paul Pleasure, and he's got the opening goal
He's a
tonight.
great player.
All got it, I'll have it, guys.
He got knocked out last year against Carlton and was out for about 3, and he had the bad shoulder injury.
Under duress last year, he was fantastic. When the Crows really needed someone to stand up forward to the ball, he kept them in the season, basically.
Goddard was the 3rd man up and did very well. And then Thompson
dived on the ball.
heard the umpire.
He put it in. You could pretty obvious that, wasn't it?
Play on.
So Montagna to Graham. Revolt, a bit unlucky there.
Revolt being held. Yeah, serious.
And when the ball goes in as quick, that handball from Montagna was very important.
Just so you know, for the rest of the game, the whole way up, you're holding arms around the waist is considered a hold. Held back like that. Yeah, but that's it, just there.
Good explanation and a fair decision. But the reason that happened was because the ball got inside 50 so quickly. The quick handball to Graham and near enough to one-on-one to Revolt.
Didn't kick a goal in the opening round, which is pretty unusual for him. And he's brought that back beautifully right to left.
Yes, the game has a look. There's going to be a lot of those, have to be those, what I'd call broken play goals. I mean, Rewald got the free kick, but the Crows were outnumbering St Kilda when the ball went forward, but Rewald got the free kick. The Crows' first goal came the same. There's going to be certainly the hard work for the forwards tonight. They're going to be outnumbered most of the time when the ball comes in, so they're going to have to work very hard or not give away free kicks from a defensive point of view.
Starting the night, Nick Rewald, 16 goals in 11 games against Adelaide with a top of 3 twice, including round 21 last season. Interesting watching McLeod. He's in the foreground, just to the right there. Just trying to see who he's going to draw. At the moment it's Goddard. Goddard has tracked him down into the Saints forward line a couple of times. Roving the pack in all sorts of trouble was Farron Ray. Comes out to Gilbert. Little fumble. Del Santo in trouble. Ball. It's going Adelaide's way. Marriage across to Edwards. 40 metres out. Snaps. It's coming back. Just misses.
That was excellent forward pressure by the Crows to be able to have the courage to push hard forward after that. The ball was forced out of the clearance in their direction. To have the numbers towards that contest meant that St Kilda didn't have the numbers advantage that they normally expect in that part of the field.
And it was a big ruckman. Marriage did really well, didn't he? Actually winning the footy. So the Saints through Montagna to Fisher, Del Santo, terrific hands to Ray. Graham runs into a bit of a traffic jam. They've done okay. The Jones was set up there, but they've still got the footy. Graham pushing forward. Handball by Gardner, stretching Montagna, and it goes back now to Montagna, coming from Schneider. The kick looks a good one to Cozzy. Got him.
Great kick. He resisted the target there. I think it was Milne in the forward pocket, 20 metres down the line, but that was the perfect kick to a tall target.
It was just numbers around the footy in the middle of the ground. They just played rush roulette. There was hand pass to pressure, hand pass to pressure, but they keep having enough players at the pressure situation, St Kilda, to maintain it through the middle of the ground.
Well, Rewald and Kosicki, they've been mentioned in the same sentence a lot over the years, haven't they? Have they got the first 2 goals for the Saints tonight? They have.
Good confidence builder for both Rewald and Kosicki, because Rutten and Bock are 2 of the better big defenders in the game. As expected, Rutten has taken the taller man Kosicki, and Bock is playing on Rewald. Looks like St Kilda are trying to get Rewald to play more full forward than centre-half forward on the basis, I think, to try and make Bock play fullback, which might just suit the matchup a little better.
The big man with 2 goals last week after kicking 30 last season. He'd be pleased with his start. Plenty of the ball, plenty of run. Up by 6 points on the big stage tonight. Marriage decisively. Knight straight up in the air. McWalton knocked it down. Kick forward by Goddard. Barely a kick. It covered about 2 metres. And the umpire will do it again.
That last ball movement that we saw through the corridor was not what we been used to seeing from St Kilda over the last 2 or 3 seasons. They really did run and carry it, take risks, and it was encouraging to see.
Knight's 3rd man up, won it down. Edwards put the body in, comes back to Knights, a hand pass to no one in particular. Gilbert, Goddard feeds it back. Baker across the ground, just beyond the wing. Must be a free kick to Schneider.
Marking interference. Straight to him, thanks. Straight to him. Right there.
Schneider kicks towards the 50, takes something off the kick. Gardner, mentioned him before the game, prepared to push forward.
Right there.
When he does this, he's a handy player. Centering kick, off hands, falls in front. Otten a half chance. Del Santo played it well. Montagna out of the congestion. Bock in that last line. Tackled by Rewald, ball still in play. Milne bounces one to about 15 metres out. Missed by Otten, chance for Del Santo. Slips a hand pass to Gwilt. Gwilt the snap, dropping back John Cobb.
You knew where the mark was, you ran straight over it. 2 metres straight over it.
So against McWalter.
And that's one way to release the pressure on the defenders, is to actually give a free kick away. It gives them time and space to find free targets as they are now.
So Thompson got it, and now with Rutten's run to Knights, he's a left footer. So he wasn't really on the right side. That is a good kick to Henschel. What a remarkable comeback after such a long time out of the game. Not far from that pocket, actually. And that one has gone to the boundary.
Since I've been watching Andrew McLeod for this first 5-10 minutes of the game, he hasn't touched the ball yet. He's drifted from half forward up to the wing. Now he's part of the Crows' back six. And I don't know what St Kilda are trying to do. They don't look like they've got a defensive forward set up for him. So it's a great tactical battle between the two coaches, how to use McLeod.
Riley over the top. Henschel taken down by Dawson. Spills to Gilbert. Gets a hand pass away. Strong tackle on Thompson there by Hayes. Snapshot towards goal. Dropping back Fisher.
Gilbert's already been moved off Paul Pleasure. Stephen Baker's gone to him. And probably the hardest nut in the St Kilda side's got a big job to do.
Blake got it from Del Santo. Across to Graham.
And Graham taking Adelaide on. Gee, did well there, Graham. And Goddard cleverly back to Blake. Blake to Revolt. Same free kick against Bock this time. Not quite so damaging.
Arms around the waist is a hold.
So Bock's been told for the second time tonight.
Have a look at the congestion on that wide shot where all the Crows have positioned themselves, but St Kilda have used that short kick pretty effectively already.
So Gwilt. A good start by the Saints into the breeze. Centering ball, and Kaczynski was strong at it and then goes for goal at the back. King. Oh, that was a good kick.
It's interesting that setup when St Kilda had the ball. The Crows were zoning up pretty much the centre of the ground rather than the forward 50. I don't know whether it just hadn't got back quickly enough, but it enabled a bit of space forward when St Kilda could get that second kick on.
And that's the knock on a midfield zone type structure, because you can expose your defence.
So King straight in front, and the Saints get a third.
It's always interesting when a ruckman gets forward and gets a mark, because it means his direct ruck opponent is basically looking for him now for the rest of the game. So the initiative now is with King, because he's got forward. Now Marrick and Tippett, as they go into the ruck, are going to be conscious that they have to look for their direct opponent and can't just block the nearest space.
Marrick was right there, but just didn't want to get goal side.
6 goals since joining the Saints for former skipper of the Cats.
Well, it proves that Marrick was with King, but ruckman can't defend usually.
He should have done better, probably, Marriage too. Needed to make some body contact as well as having a go at the ball. Edwards is in there, scramble. McWalter's over it, and the umpire wants it.
But almost inevitably, I think the ruckman's got more chance of being a marking target of forward. But as defenders, I find ruckman are relatively useless.
Marriage knocks it out. Ray goes after it. The Saints looking terrific at the moment. King trying to make you eat your words, Lee. Gives it across towards Geary. Goes in short. Dangerfield goes to the outer side, intended for Douglas. Slapped away by Baker. Wonderful balance by Baker. Went and found the footy. Knights paddles it out towards the boundary. Taken by Ball. Here's Ray. Feeds it forward. Del Santo. Plenty of support. Back to Ball. Close to the boundary line. Little chip. Bounces it out of bounds.
Down to you, Tim.
Well, McLeod started on the wing. Lee was talking about him before. I reckon Neil Craig was just waiting to see whether or not he was going to get the hard tag. He didn't get the hard tag. Now he's pushed him behind the ball. He's picking up Milne, and Milne's dragging him deep into defence, almost onto the goal line.
So Goodwin to Thompson, who looked up and there wasn't much there. Douglas. Gee, the Saints are putting a strangle on Adelaide at the moment. Bock. Back to Goodwin. He had to wait for the bounce. And again, Van Berlo. Back to Thompson. They've had to be patient. Well done though. Baker gets back to Tippett, to Edwards. Adelaide to build again. Knights ran into a brick wall. Tippett's got nowhere ready to go. McLeod's first touch had a dozen in the first quarter against Collingwood, and very short. Gets to Doughty.
Up towards right half forward, Doughty.
Play on!
Bayon's the call.
Go 15, play on!
Repetitive, isn't it? Kick. Edwards across the ground. Bock. Well, stolen away brilliantly by Kaczynski. Revolt up in the air. Vince in trouble. Taken down. And the umpire, I think, no alternative but to ball it up. And after that steal by Kaczynski, I think he should be a person of interest in the Wolverine case.
Edwards' kick across the ground there was to a good space. Just Bock wasn't able to collect it cleanly. If he would have been able to, had a lot of space on the other side of the ground.
As you'd expect, Andy McLeod goes anti-clockwise. Van Berlo pushing through midfield. Knights has had a lot of it. Back to Van Berlo. Now it opens up. Wide on the outer side. Taken by Otten. Long kick down towards full forward. Vince should have flown at that one. The ball spills behind and goes across the line.
On his wrong leg, then. Probably a left leg jumper. Come the other side of the pack, he would have been okay.
I would have called him in anyway, but yours, Bernie.
Lee, how important when you're away from home to get a good start?
It's a really good start because the wind, it's probably a 2 or 3 goal breeze going in the Crows' direction. So the fact that St Kilda have been able to conjure the first 3 goals, and at the moment their defensive mechanisms are really strangling the Crows.
Just don't have the time and space they had last week early against Collingwood. That was a bit of a mistake. Edwards unable to take much advantage of it.
Holding the ball!
In fact, gone.
Wow.
Tyson, you've got to let him go, let him go. You've got to do something, mate. You just can't hold it to your belly like that.
And part of the reason they're not getting that run is that when St Kilda got the ball in their hands, they're actually been a little bit more effective with it generally. What they've done is they've been prepared to run and carry, and it's drawn the Adelaide defenders forward rather than allowing them to sit back as they did with Collingwood, because Collingwood are predominantly just going to kick it along the boundary.
So Adelaide almost into their forward 50, about to go in now. Thompson tucked away in the pocket, centering kick, but no one went. Poplisha stayed down. Walker couldn't get a crack at it. Henschel wasn't involved, and Gilbert took a good mark. Scrubby kick. Pressure on Montagna. Saints are away.
Del Santo through midfield has the one bounce. It's 2-on-1 inside the 50. Behind Otten did pretty well in a tight situation. Goodwin, it's not out of there yet. Goodwin slides it under Graham. Was he pushed to the back? Was he holding the ball?
Ooh, good lucky. They've rescued it. They actually had the Crows at their mercy on the way coming through with just that one errant kick that actually enabled them. Otherwise, the Crows were going to be on the way out.
Play on!
Always difficult to pick the breeze here, but I think it's going more across the ground than when we started looking at the flags.
I think it's
Might check with Tim
affect the
down on the
trajectory
boundary.
of the ball, I suspect, Dennis, because it is blustery for sure.
Check with Tim shortly on what that breeze is doing. I dare say we'll get the boundary right is swirling.
Has he kicked?
High, John Cock to get the
Back here, has
free.
he kicked?
What do you reckon, Tim? You're down there?
I reckon it's swirling, Dennis.
Nice work, Tim.
It's definitely blowing my hair about. It must be windy.
Won't move mine.
Play on!
What has moved yours, Dan?
That wind at the Picanell pool did it, Bruce. But I found the right hairspray after that.
Buck wide. Good grab by Dangerfield. He turns...
Free kick to St Kilda! Free kick to St Kilda! High, through in the ground, put him in a headlock, through in the ground, free kick to St Kilda downfield. Don't go to him! You've got the ball!
That happened all the way back at Adelaide Crows centre half forward area. It was Vince on Jones.
And now Graham goes for goal and sprays it. So Adelaide may be getting away with this. But the Saints certainly on top early.
Dangerous situation here for Adelaide. King clean possession, snaps. Getting back is Otten. Judged it very well.
50.
And now 50. He was claimed having taken the mark. So the umpire Wen, is stepping up the 50.
You claim the player 50 metres every day of the week.
Including Friday.
When have you got play?
Yeah, not in the contest.
To the outer side. Knights. Runs down towards half forward. He's a telling kick. Leave this one. Oh, well. Doesn't matter. He marked it. Doing what I can for Adelaide. Henschel marks, turns around. Great to see him kick a goal.
And when either of these sides gets a little bit of time and space out of their defence, that's exactly what's going to happen. We saw St Kilda be able to push through the Crows' midfield zone when it wasn't quite set up to its optimum, and on that occasion then a free kick given away, another 50-metre free kick from deep in St Kilda's forward line, and the Crows were able to move it quickly and effectively to their goal square. Good mark by Henschel, nice goal.
Gee, the way Knights kicked that ball, I've got a feeling the Crows have got the breeze. He thumped that 65. I know he's a good kick, but he thumped that 65 metres. Good hands by Henschel. So Adelaide back to 5 points. St Kilda impressive early. Knights tried to get it back to Dowdy, and then he tried to tap it back, and Gardner was good. Gets it to McWalter, to full forward Kosicki. Otten's been impressive. Back to Bock. And Bock did that very well. Edwards will go back to him. And they've played the 1-2 pretty well there. And Edwards careful with the kick as he so often is. And then Doughty releases the run. McKay over the top to Knights. To Riley, trouble. Portlesia couldn't release it. It was good tackle by Graham. They've run into a brick wall more than once, and then Goddard under the pump. And I think fortuitously...
Is that an effective kick?
Jack on the 50.
And now Del Santo.
Being swamped with hand passes at the moment.
Not off, not off.
Really outstripping kicks. We've got back-to-back kicks there. Montagna gets it from Ball. That's ambitious, but it's okay.
That's it there, Bocky.
Now he's got the breeze blowing out from goal.
You don't see many goals kicked from this pocket.
Particularly with this prevailing breeze.
Okay, Nathan, don't go
It's coming
forward.
right out from the goalposts. At the other end, a lot easier. Just pop it up and the breeze will push it through. This way, you really have to kick it hard and give away the goals at some stage, and he does, and still can't make it. He aimed just inside the nearest behind post, and the breeze still carried it too far. Don't think we'll see too many goals from that pocket. Vince, Petrenko liked his game last week. Vince drives it to our commentary side. Otten.
You now.
Little short one. Knights coming up for his 7th possession. He's at left half back. Where will he go? Thinks about it across the ground. Now Van Berlo
Thank you.
just shy of the wing.
St Kilda
5
1-1
points.
all over the field here. We've seen the Crows go to a midfield zone, but St Kilda staying accountable to their man.
Wiley's got it on the wing.
He's got Otten short, Dennis, and that's the way he's gone. Otten's been very good in this opening term. Now he's got a problem.
Holding the ball.
He's no longer been very good in this opening term.
No advantage there. Take it, Lee.
Just had brain fade for a moment, got disorientated, wasn't sure what to do.
Your boy's carries. He heard that. He became complacent.
Montagna, McKay back with Montagna. Not a good kick. The ball was put under the pump, and Douglas tried to ride it all the way down.
They had no chance.
I think Otten was just the victim of most players just don't want to kick the ball blind into their forward 50 because they could smother there before they, because they're going to be outnumbered. So he tried to overplay it and got pinged.
Ball did well. Knocked it down to McWalter across to Ray. Revolt had it, lost it. Wilt goes to ground. Now he needs to be careful. He pulled that one back in, but he's stripped of the football by McKay. Petrenko with strength, but the hand pass was wayward.
He's hurt himself.
Schneider did nicely. Little 1-2 there with McWalter. Advantage is
15,
paid.
mate, sling down.
Whoops.
Bring it down there.
It's
Jones,
Petrenko.
your free kick.
It's 50 though going to the Saints.
Just really well
Yeah, then he swung him to credit.
on his leg, got twisted underneath him.
It was a late pull down. So this is the 50-metre penalty for impeding their opponent in the next stage of play. It was a significant penalty, isn't it, when at 50 metres so often will take you into a goal scoring position.
I'll say. And there's no guarantee you would have got the ball back. So it's an odd penalty, the way we structure Aussie rules. You may not have been involved in the play. There goes the kick down towards full forward. They're trying to force it behind there. Weight of numbers, 4 of them.
I'm also
Barbershop quartet pushed it across the line.
watching that particular rule, the way it's being interpreted. I think the umpire should be doing that, what they're doing with the deliberate behinds. Like it has to be deliberate. These half-hold tackles, I'm not sure whether they're worth 50-metre penalties.
We're working that one through, Lee. We'll put it through the computer. We'll get back to you. Now John Cock. Wide. It's an interesting kick. It's a hard one for Otten, and Jones did really well, and then Gwilt. Back to Baker. Kosicki, Revolt, and that's too easy. uncontested, really. It was up in the air for a long, long time.
Well, he's on the other side of the field. He's 100 metres away from the play, but he was able to move into that marking position there without any Crows player so much as keeping an eye on him. And Rewalt was the first one to see him and did well to pull out of the contest to allow his teammate to take an uncontested mark.
Rutten just lost his body, and once he gets a loop of the ball, it's all over.
So Adelaide a bit exposed, aren't they, at the back and the high marks, and Cosy gets his second.
I think Ben Rutten would have to be pretty disappointed that there's twice Kazitsky just had a free jump at the ball in the forward 50. Rutten normally maintains body control much better than that, but he's going to have a full day, Kazitsky, if he's allowed free fresh air to jump at the footy.
I reckon he might have been in the ruck there because Marich was trailing in about 3 metres away, which adds to your opinion about ruckman and the defensive attributes.
Well, Kazitsky's timing looks right again tonight. For about a period of 10 minutes last Saturday night, he really started to show what he can do, Kazitsky. Grant Thomas, a former coach of St Kilda, said during the week that he thought Kazitsky was the most important player in the St Kilda side, more important to the Saints than even Nick Rewalt.
Del Santo went to ground, so too Vince was tripped.
Free kick, Adelaide.
They'll give the kick. Run that rule through the computer too, Bruce. It's like search for dead wrestlers. It starts to smoke. Off hands, down towards full forward. Douglas, back to goal, feeds it outside the 50. Van Berlo whips one towards the boundary, taken by poor Pleasure about 10 metres in from the line. Went looking for Vince. He immediately attracts a crowd. Wrestled down and will have a bounce about 30 metres out.
That kick by Paul Pleasure was just a space. He didn't know if there was a player there, but he thought that would be a lot more dangerous to go to than to go out to the boundary by hands.
St Kilda most impressive. Adelaide struggling to stay in touch. Van Berlo on his knees. Poor Pleasure. Dangerfield controlled it well. Marich played it well as well. Dangerfield again. Swings it back towards full forward. Over the top, Fisher. Best and fairest last season. And that was coming. He was second the previous year, third the season before that.
No 15. Play on. Play on. Play on.
Big possession getter, Fisher. And gets a second one in that play, and then a very high kick. Marich, Rewalt, and a good look at it, Rewalt. So he's gone into the back half maybe for the last bit of this quarter with the Saints a couple of goals in front into the win.
I reckon when Fisher had that mark and kick from about 20 metres out from the Crows goal, I reckon the Crows virtually had an O in man zone trying to protect what was going to happen on the next phase of play.
King and Marich just eluded both of them. And Goddard tried to get it out, and then Dangerfield has been good.
Play on, got a handball.
Heard the Vince to Otten. Back to Petrenko. Looks like he's recovered trouble for Douglas. Did well, he just stood up in it, and then Otten brought down.
They'd be pleased with their tackling pressure, St Kilda. The defensive mechanisms are a combination of where you're positioning your players, but it's also just the pressure on the opposition ball carrier, and St Kilda are doing that extremely well.
Suffocating Adelaide, aren't they, in this first quarter? Not giving them any space or breathing room at all.
King knocks it down. Revolt's got it. A minute and a half remaining till quarter time. Goodwin gets in the road at centre-half back, drives it up towards the wing. Baker must get a free. That was a question about wanting front position more than his opponent.
Interested to see by the end of the game the Crows zone, which we would think might conserve a little bit of energy in defence versus the Saints man-on-man, which is obviously quite labour intensive, and it's worked very well for them, as you've said, Lee. They've squeezed the Crows down, but by the end of the game, 4 quarters of that does it wear you out.
But they keep both sides are getting the extra player back. I think St Kilda are doing that pretty well. But St Kilda seem to be able to find a way to take it forward directly. The Crows just can't get any run from behind at the moment.
Dawson's got it after a string of kicks.
Or maybe it's simply the St Kilda players have marked the ball 3 times in their forward 50. And the Crows don't look like doing that.
The Saints 54 kicks to go with 52 hand passes, but we've got to delete the last 20. Now we get a real kick up towards the wing. From behind, the leap came from Van Berlo, falls to McKay, 20 seconds to go, serves the Saints right if Adelaide get a goal here. Beautiful pass dropped though by Thompson from McLeod. Opportunity to force it forward. Van Berlo over the top. Coming through down there is Otten. He's taken to ground. Ball just trickles out. Reefed back in. We'll have a ball up. In fact, Dangerfield, I think you'll find at the base of that pack somewhere. There he is.
Because it's hard to get space as an Adelaide Crow when you've got Stephen Baker and Luke Ball in the vicinity. They hunt the ball and the opposition with the ball. They're very good tacklers.
I'm throwing it up here.
By McBurney, making his intentions obvious. Under pressure, it's scrambled out of there by Montagna. Quarter time at Amy Stadium. And St Kilda going into what breeze there was. It did back around a bit midway through the term, but as Tim said, we trust him on this. It was swirling. Saints 4-2, Adelaide 2-2. Quarter time. This is Friday Night Football.
When he's doing that.
Interesting, when the Saints got their first goal, Andrew McLeod was lost at half forward for Adelaide, and that really was down to him. His man was involved. They had the extra number at half forward.
They are going man on man though, so wherever he went, he would still have a direct opponent, which was not the luxury he was afforded in some ways last week.
But no specific opponent at this point.
Got free a bit in that term as the ball comes down towards half forward. Goddard feeds it back to Del Santo. Graham, the long kick. Look at that on the breeze. Gardner striding after this one, and the ball runs away from him. Just getting a feel for that breeze.
St Kilda's rucks are getting into some dangerous positions, and Marich has been the man every time that they've run off.
Marich and Gardner. Marich down in front. McKay in desperate trouble. Montagna kept coming, applied a strong tackle.
We always think of David Hill as probably the ruckman who can get dangerous in the forward 50 better than almost any of the other rucks in the competition. But Gardner has always liked to do that over his career. He will charge into that forward 50.
Crows need to be careful here. Can't concede an early goal. McKay. Marich did well in there. Wiley got the hand pass away. Bock, little chip outside the defensive 50. Thompson's come back well and gets 50.
He actually came back into Jason Blake, and all Blake did was say, well, you're not going to go any further. That was a pretty harsh one.
But around him. You're not in the contest.
Yeah, we knew that, but I thought Thompson actually created the contact.
He wasn't in the contest because he was afraid of being half a step late and giving away the 50 in the first place.
So Thompson's kick low.
Hands in the back.
Jeez. Couple of soft free kicks there.
Good, keep it. Yep. Hands in the back, mate. Push them under the fly of the ball. Yep, just here.
So against Dawson on Tippett. So, gee, Adelaide have taken it from one end to the other. This is a good way of doing it, isn't it? Free kicks.
Ross Lyon will be bleeding. Both of those were marginal.
So from defensive 50 to having a shot for goal.
That's Ross bleeding. It's about as much emotion as he shows.
No, he's saying that umpiring's a very difficult job and we've got to be tolerant.
And Tippett's got the goal. So Adelaide gifted the opening goal of the second term.
Well, one thing he is even-tempered. When things are going well or when things are going poor, he looks exactly the same, doesn't he? He does. He's very good at that. But look, 50s are going to kill you because it actually it moves the ball forward and you don't actually have time to set up your defence for that 50 metres. I mean, it's 3 yards, and 3 yards in today's football is invaluable.
It's a 100-metre penalty without actually earning a possession.
Saints lead it by 6.
Mind you, both according to the rules, I think they were both probably correct enough calls. Minor, but correct enough calls.
Jared Petrenka, second game. In trouble at the moment. We saw that twist earlier. Away comes Edwards. Drives it inside the forward 50. Working in front. Tippett did well that time. Beautifully crumbed by Douglas. The snap is on the way and just misses.
Kurt Tippett's great strength. We saw it all last year, was his ability to compete one-on-one in the forward 50. Very rarely gets outmarked and nearly always either marks it or brings the ball back in front. His pressure was good there.
So Graham, after Tippett did a good job there with ball, and now Del Santo. So there's a 10th disposal for him. Milne up the ground. Haven't seen a lot of him in this match so far. Clever to revolt. But if he'd taken the mark, Schneider was on his own in the forward 50 and they would have been through for a goal. Bock got it from Rutten, and now Goodwin with that probing kick. That's a beautiful kick by Goodwin, and good hands by Mackay. So Adelaide now with a spring in its step. Mackay to about 30 metres. Gilbert went up very high and very early. Douglas has to get it out.
Holding the ball.
Yeah, he actually collected the ball by diving on it, went to ground, and in today's game, if you don't keep your feet, you're in strife.
Amazing too, just looking at the stats. Adelaide 74 hand passes, 47 kicks. So the breeze really doesn't mean a lot. Probably they're better off working up into the breeze if they're going to hand pass that often. Here's Fisher. 74 to 47 bucks. Fisher's got the footy, isn't it? Interesting too. Josh would like that because the numbers.
His hands in the back.
That was the same free kick. Yeah, that was the same free kick, but not adjudicated.
Bock goes to Otten. Otten across the ground, and Rutten tracks it back. Just inside the defensive 50, Kazitsky took him down. Johncock flicks it over the top, looking for support. Stolen away by Montagna. That was a clever kick. Bounced it into the path of Schneider. Wonderful chase by Johncock. Schneider gets up, pleading his case. He thought he was pushed initially, and maybe has an argument. Watch this again. Does he push him forward, then pull him back?
Yes, I think that is the two hands in the middle of the small of the back. But it's still a great chase. He's got away with the probably the push in the back, but saved the goal.
But I don't mind if they're. You've just got to reward the effort. And the last two free kicks that we spoke about, the Crows got their last goal from. There wasn't any particular effort there that deserved a free kick, but that was a great effort by Johncock. Glad it wasn't paid.
It was the adjudication of the rules, not the spirit of the game, probably.
Yeah.
So Knights, poor kick. Did well, Vince. Bock, Dangerfield. Again, Adelaide in close quarters, under some pressure. Now Bock to release them. Otten to Johncock, who was terrific a minute ago. Johncock's kick hard for Thompson. Blake had the run on him. Baker to swoop on it, and then to go to half forward to Milne, who's normally pretty clever in this situation, and the little gives a good one to Revolt as it all opens up for the Saints.
One thing the Saints...
I'll line him up, you come here, and I'll put him on his ankle.
One thing the Saints have done very well is when the Crows come from one side of the field and kick that diagonal kick to the opposite side, and that was to Thompson there, they're actually manning up their Crows opponents very closely there. They were able to turn that ball over and they had men on down the line to attack for themselves.
So Revolt. The Crows love to get the ball to the fat side as quick as they can.
And St Kilda are defending it very well.
Yeah, St Kilda probably realised that from last week's game, and I expect him to go from back flank to back flank to launch the attack and getting numbers over there.
Wiley to the pocket. Johncock.
That's one thing the zone protects, doesn't it? The open space. Because if you're not playing man-to-man, the zoning, if you're playing man-to-man, you'll go where your opponents tend to be based rather than leaving the space for them to run into. But the full ground zones tend to stop the space being out on the opposite wing from the ball carrier.
There's Neil Craig, best winning percentage amongst active coaches at 62%. That last kick I don't think would have pleased him. A compromise kick. There's Goddard. Long ball down towards full forward. It floats to the pocket. Johncock going back. Kept it alive for Revolt. Revolt goes to Montagna. Dangerous situation from behind. Big leap way. Couldn't hang on. Emerging with the football, Kazitsky. Schneider giving some space to a teammate, and Milne hasn't got the distance. Goodwin on the goal line.
Releases Bock to Van Berlo. So goals are hard to get here. Adelaide flirting with it a bit. Johncock's been in good nick so far. Gets it outside the defensive 50. Dangerfield did well. He really stood up there. Thompson wanted to release it. Now to Dangerfield. Dangerfield under pressure, back to Thompson, needed the reflex handball over the top to McLeod. Now he sees McLeod, but he's in not such a great position, and McLeod goes bang across to the front of the goal, and Tippett takes a beauty. That's a good mark.
And that, as we said, I mean, that's really what he's good at. He's a basketballer from junior ranks, and The strength to hold yourself under the basket, not dissimilar to the strength to be able to hold yourself in a marking contest. And Zach Dawson's been manhandled a few times, a bit out positioned on that occasion, but good
Cover the goals, but he tend to cover the goals and the kick back inboard where out positioned him.
He's kicked a goal already in this quarter and has got a second. So Adelaide doing very well.
Well, we don't have many venues that are terribly wind affected, but I guess with as Dennis said before, if there's a running hand pass game going on, well, it doesn't really much matter which way the wind is blowing. Obviously, all the wind does is maybe enable you to kick the ball 10 metres further in one direction. So the Crows handball game, they've had 87 handballs to 57 kicks, seems to be working better going into the Brews.
Kurt Tippett, 17 goals last season, including 4 against North Melbourne in round 7. Young Queenslander. First time since round 8, though. He's got 2 in a game. Back in the middle. King goes after it.
I'll recall that. That's not a fair bounce.
Fair enough.
Took his time, umpire Ryan. It floated on the breeze. He weighed it up and decided he would do it again. Fair enough. Throws it up. King does what he did before. Slaps it forward. Coming across on the angle. Otten did well to Edwards. Now some indecision from Doughty. Kicks beyond the wing. It was Dangerfield who dug it out of the middle initially. And now it's with Henschel. Henschel wants someone to come towards him. Not much conviction in anything happening ahead. Goes close to the boundary line, reaching over the top. Blake far too easy. Punches it away from Thompson, and it's out of bounds.
Tim mentioned the non-negotiables of the Adelaide Crows, the tackling pressure. St Kilda up 27-14, but that's going to happen when you're man-to-man because you're closer to be able to put that body pressure and that tackling pressure on.
Saw Ross Lyon a moment ago at half-time. We're showing our feature on St Kilda. We've been with them all week in the build-up to this match. Some terrific stuff. Van Berlo's kicked a full forward. Tipper went to ground. Thompson caught.
The tackling stats are one thing, but it's often a look at the game, isn't it? But at the moment, it just looks like the St Kilda player is attacking the Adelaide player with the ball a bit quicker, a bit more aggressively than vice versa.
And McLeod had a good chance, I thought, to cut that off with King and couldn't quite. He might get it back here, McLeod. He does. He's trying to draw someone to him. And now Walker from the pocket. Could Thompson get a run at it? He's completely outnumbered. They can't concede. Dawson did okay. Gets to Hayes. Saints look like they'll get out of trouble. Gilbert running hard. They've done very well there.
If that's the case, Lee, the Crows are well and truly in this match, given that they can. There is upside to their pressure.
Well, at the moment, they're both forward 50s are really working very, very hard for their scoring opportunities. You've got to say the defensive mechanisms of both sides are on top.
Montagna now 16 possessions as Blake comes across the ground to Fisher up from the back pocket.
Which I guess is what both sides tend to be known for, their ability to stop scoring as a greater strength than their ability to do scoring.
Doughty did well, gave a contest, punched it away from Goddard. Fisher, the man who kicked it back to Goddard, feigns a hand pass, now he backs off. It's quite remarkable stuff, some of this. Goddard to midfield, Hayes must get a free kick.
Just here, that's your mark. Play on.
A lot of shadow boxing amongst the actual boxing as the ball goes down towards half forward. Revolt comes back towards the middle. John Cock was there, lurking behind, a chance for Schneider. Gives it across to Geary, and Geary has missed everything out of bounds on the full.
Just wonder if this is going to cost the Saints a bit. They've had some chances in this quarter to score.
See how important effective kicking is. Hayes wheeled out of the contest there, and that kick to Rewalt just broke everything up. They missed a few opportunities from there. They had some men on that they didn't see, but one good kick in this game of footy in one bit of play can make all the difference.
So the Saints without a goal in the second term after making the running in the first. Good mark by Rutten to Edwards to Doughty. The run from McKay. So McKay, good kick actually to John Cock. He straightened it up, McKay. And John Cock's got a couple of options wide. It's a slow kick, but it's okay. Thompson has Goodwin running. He had to wait for it, but he's on his left foot. Hooks it. Walker couldn't quite. Poor Pleasure, poor handball. McKay has done a lot of running in this passage of play. Adelaide conceding. McLeod looking for a free and may give one up here. Ball hasn't come out.
No, too many hands on it. Thanks, Andrew. Thanks, mate.
Bounce about 35 metres out from Adelaide's attacking goal. Saints by a point. Second term, low-scoring affair, just the 8 goals so far. King, out-rucked by Marich. Hooked back by Porplesia. Only man back is Fisher. Plays on immediately, just drops it to the pocket. Graham, man on to the outer side, they'll bring it away. Lenny Hayes, looping hand pass. They can go the length of the ground here. Ball, Montagna, the one bounce is second. Still going down towards right half forward. Kicks long towards the pocket. Kazetsky. Rutten lost him.
As soon as you get the defenders running back towards the opposition goal, as they did on this occasion, you've got them where you want them, especially when you're as good in the air as Kazitsky is.
What we're not seeing is forwards leading at the ball carrier. And I think that's this whole zoning use. If there's opposition players between the forward and the ball carrier, but we've not seen in the whole game, didn't see one last week, didn't really see a forward leading the space at the ball carrier. They got to hold their ground and almost be spotted up with a long kick.
And that's what Franklin and Roughhead are particularly good at, leading away from the ball. We saw that last week.
Here's Ball. Kicks from 40. Important kick too, just misses. Didn't miss by much. 8.5 minutes till half time. St Kilda double their lead.
They've had some chances here in this quarter to have a sizable lead at half-time. Just the 2 points. It's a good kick to Bok. Coming from Doughty.
Good teamwork between Rutten and Bok to protect that space for Bok to mark.
And then Bok back into the centre. Thompson has played a bit of this game, this quarter, full forward in the pocket. Now having a run on the ball. It's called to go, and they get it out into that fat side to Goodwin. Goodwin playing off half-back to Dangerfield. Turns 19 on Sunday, this fella. He's in trouble, but he did okay. Got the handball away and then fetched it himself. Handball to Doughty. Heavy traffic everywhere still for the Crows. Petrenko. Back to Van Berlo. They'll probably come into the centre here, Adelaide. Had a couple of options. To Bok, who loves to run and carry, and now McKay getting to about 80 metres, goes to the pocket. Porplesia is the target. Douglas, he kicked a goal like this against Collingwood, brings it back to the front of the square, and Marich just worked Dawson off beautifully there and has taken the mark.
You come back a metre, and you've got to come around just about halfway, and perfect, straight back there.
Well, he's not a bad kick for goal, Marich. He's pretty accurate normally, and he should kick this.
Hang on. Wait, you need another 2 metres? Another 2 metres? Keep coming. Hang on, Ivan, keep
Well,
coming.
then he kicked just a normal drop punt.
Yes.
On the edge of the goal square.
No. Keep coming. Another metre.
He wants to run out slightly and hook it around, doesn't he?
Play the 50 if you know.
His goal. He knew what he was doing. Crows are in front.
Made a simple job difficult, I thought. Although
Give him one warning, don't
it
you?
was 5 metres out on a 45-degree angle. But he just might not fancy his straight kicking technique. But again, we see if you can run the ball to that 50 to 70 metres out, then you've got a chance of spotting up different areas in the forward 50. But again, it was really just a contested mark. Defender slightly is favouring goal side. Good body use.
Bill Craig will be really pleased with these big fellas too. 3 goals this quarter from his resting ruckman. The other thing that has caught my eye too, Lenny Hayes just came off the ground. He's just back 21 days after doing a hamstring, but he certainly looks short of a gallop at the moment. Not the same sharp Lenny Hayes that we see when he's in full flight.
The Breeze catching that ball again, and the umpire having time to think about it. Has called it back, umpire win this time. Now Adelaide, bear in mind there are 7 minutes plus in this term to half-time. They've had 102 hand passes already. Kicks trailing at 75. It's doing them proud at the moment though as Schneider comes out of the middle. Little half volley taken by Milne. This for the lead. Misses. Saints have the breeze. Adelaide look very comfortable going up into the breeze. They lead by 3 points after they trailed by 12 at quarter time. So the bulk of the scoring done at the non-scoring end. Well,
7 of the 9 goals, Dennis, at the right of screen.
It's a contradiction in terms, isn't it? In goes Edwards, and there's going to be a free kick. It's going to Gwilt.
And Gwilt, good kick.
Clear odds on his own.
Del Santo wanted to get to him. And still outside the 50, but Montagna can go all the way with the breeze at his back here and gives it a beautiful ride, and the Saints go back to the lead.
Played well.
Yeah, very solid ball movement by the Saints. When you're able to get it across the ground 50 metres from your goal, it was firstly a good kick from Gwilt to Del Santo and then across to Montagna. The Crows just weren't able to cover that enough. They're already rolling back to about 20 to 40 out from goal down the line, but this created space for Montagna. Lovely finish. Wasn't able to do it at the beginning of the match, but he did on that occasion.
Lee Montagna, 17 possessions now. And quite outstanding. Tackle count favours the Saints. Doesn't always tell you too much, because if you're tackling, quite often you haven't got the footy. It's the value of the tackles, I guess. Van Berlo went to McKay. Thompson goes back to Doughty. Now Riley in 2 minds, threads it. Doughty half volleys it. Thompson's got it towards half forward. Taken by Van Berlo.
He moves towards the ball in that intermediate position really well, Van Berlo.
Good player. Thompson, Riley kicks inside the forward 50. Hard one to mark down there. Poor Pleasure got hands to it. Blake crawls after it. Dangerfield running out of space. Hand passes over his shoulder. Edwards bundled across the line. Gilbert falling to the ground did well. Hand pass to Geary. Geary goes around the outer side, close to the boundary at Schneider. And I think he was always intent on taking it out of bounds.
On the tackling stats, I always felt the team that tackles the best normally wins the game. Maybe it's just an indication of the effort, because the hardest part of the game is attacking the opposition ball carrier consistently when they've got the footy.
Edwards to Van Berlo. Back to Knights. So they've conceded a fair bit here, Adelaide, just trying to set up. Doughty did well. When you say tackling the best, Lee, you're talking just numbers? Or?
Almost statistically, so often the team that has the most number of tackles actually ends up winning the game.
Rutten got it. Important kick, this one. Otten, and Good able to knock it away.
And my theory on that is just simply it's the hardest part of the game. And if you're doing the hardest part of the game, then the easier parts of the game, the getting the footy and the kicking and the offensive stuff, will tend to happen more automatically. But it takes a conscious effort to make sure you work hard when the opposition have got the footy.
Marriage goes back, fingertips to it. Couldn't direct it down. Showed some courage to go after it. And the umpire will do the business again. Under 5 minutes till half time. Enthralling battle. That group very much involved. Marriage and Gardner lock up again, but the bounce goes away from them, causes them to split. Coming through is Gwilt, taken high. We'll get the free kick.
Put him up.
Defensive side of the wing. Now Del Santo forced on his right boot there, and that's not good for him. It wasn't good for Gwilt either. Dragged down by Douglas, and they pay the price. Non-thinking hand pass from the man just giving it across to Del Santo. Now a string of hand passes, ends up with McLeod, got it from Douglas. Poor Pleasure releases John Cock inside the forward 50. Working in front down there was Dangerfield, no free. Del Santo could have been pushed in the back. Hayes comes away close to the boundary line. Little chip. Runners inside for Milne. Use them virtually as a decoy. Kicks beyond the wing, taken by Kazitsky.
Cozzy straight across the ground. Good kick to Schneider. The run of ball, then goes back to Graham. Good man to have the ball, you would think. And goes long to the goal square. Ray, beauty. Farron Ray.
Stephen, you guys have got the ball, thanks.
That long ball's worried the Crows.
It's getting in the ball in the hands of the right person in one part of the right part of the ground. Montagna obviously kicked the goal earlier, and the ability for Graham to kick it long and deep. But again, forwards are now waiting for the ball to come and jumping at it. They just don't want to. That will not lead at the ball carrier. It's a very changing role that forward line players are playing.
Well, he was very good last week against Sydney in his first game. for the Saints, Farron Ray. And I think he snuck it home.
Well, they transitioned the ball there once again, St Kilda, to get it from one side of the field to the other very quickly. And it involves drawing the defence through the middle part of that field as well. But Graham there, prepared to kick it long to a couple of one-on-ones. Not renowned marking players in Farron Ray and Stephen Milne, but able to put it there on the forwards' terms with a numbers, a direct numbers contest. It was well done.
No, don't worry. 42-33. So the Saints, a late surge here.
Courageous kick by Kosicki, wasn't it? He had to kick the ball 50 metres to get to the open space. Had a crack at it, came off.
Marich doing a power of work tonight. Couldn't direct it down. Ray, I think the man Hayes let it run on. May have been involuntary. Picked up down there by Petrenko.
Being kind, then.
Poor Pleasure towards the 50, always. Coming through as Fisher. Fisher from half back. Ray and Fisher combine. Fisher stops, little chip. Graham goes back. And Marich decided not to come. May have given away 50. That was his thinking. Being kind again. Petrenko goes down under a Hayes tackle. And the ball will be bounced.
You need to look inside, Graham, didn't he? He kicked the handball outside. If he'd looked into the centre square, he had players on. I was going to look inside, first option.
Oh.
Right there. Leave it on. Play on. Play on.
So Hayes, short. Graham having a terrific second turn. Just a reminder at half-time. And fantastic exclusive look at the week with the Saints. They look like they're prepared very well. They're going to have a lead, you'd think, at half-time. A bit lucky not to have a free kick against him there.
No prior op, didn't dive on it.
Been a good last 4 or 5 minutes for St Kilda here. A couple of goals. Montagne's long bomb and Ray's big mark. And Adelaide just hanging on now. Del Santo, third man out. Milne just couldn't quite get a purchase on it.
John Cock again.
John Cock running him down for a second time in this quarter, and then a good hip and shoulder by John Cock. And then Edwards looking for a free and not getting it in the boundary throw in.
I guess we saw the flaw in Andrew McLeod's defensive game. Not that he's been playing back that much tonight. The lost contact with Milne. But teammates protected Milne running into an open goal.
Revolt, the third man up, knocked it down, but Knights gave it across to Edwards, finishes up with Goodwin. Otten feeds it back, Knights again, taken by McLeod. Untidy kick. Montagna, who's been good with the ball, not that time. Vince sliding across in front of Kosicki, knocks it out of bounds as we approach half-time. Just over a minute and a half out. I know I've been banging on about these figures, but it really is interesting. 83 Ks now, 130 HBs, if you don't mind.
For the Crows.
Yes, those figures remind me of the time I had the house wired for the Y2K bike. There's a free kick down there. It's going to Knights, I think. Slow to get up.
St Kilda.
Go down, Jack.
But given their tardy first term, I don't think the Crows would be too disappointed with this at the major break. Admittedly, they could have been closer.
Good tackle.
Hurtful tackle. Strong man brought him down.
Kosicki was St Kilda's highest inside 50 tackler last year. He was actually in the top 15 in the comp, and he's carrying on from that in the first couple of rounds.
So Kosicki's got the free, and he comes from the 50, kicks and hangs it out to the right or behind. That would have been a big goal.
So one last chance for either team, you'd think, but they might be in the hanging on mood right now. Brock, John Cock, Tim Milne did very well. He was clever.
Tripped him up, free kick.
Alton's got a few tricks, hasn't he? He's pretty smart when he's got the ball or when he's defending. He works very hard off the ball as well. Big tank, runs hard, so he looks like a bit of a player.
Just 19 years of age. In fact, the Crows have got 4 teenagers out there tonight, which I reckon will be pretty unusual in this day and age. The Saints, by the way, have only got one player under 22 playing tonight, and that's Geary at 20. McLeod under pressure. He's had a slow first half. Here is that guy you're talking about, Otten. Have the Saints got time? Probably not. The Graham's kick, bouncing forward, and they might have time. Cozzy, they don't. Siren goes. Can you believe it?
Break your heart.
Son of a gun, as you'd say, Dennis.
Son of a gun.
Game of inches and seconds, and that proved it. It was half a second from another goal to St Kilda.
Broke Milne's heart.
Australia and legacy, so go to the website there. So the Saints lead it at half-time. Big crowd at Amy Stadium. They've got the 19th man flags waving in the background. Can they lift the Crows? It's a quarter that should tell a tale.
Saints led by 12 points at quarter time. It's now out to 10. 11 goals in the game so far. And as they did at the start, Marriage and Gardner to be opposed at this bounce. And that's a good one to start the third term. Vital quarter in the context of the game. Del Santo, Goddard, now Graham. Kicks it down towards half forward, drifting back with the flight. Taking a clever mark is Goodwin. Looks across the ground. Needs to be precise with the kick. Reaching over the top, unable to take it there was Otten. It falls to the smaller player in Geary, who kicks it and bounces it through. Is it Del Santo? No, it's Geary. How's that for a start?
Well, if there's one place you don't want to turn the ball over, it's when you're kicking across goal, across your half-back line. And Geary's effort here to get back, just not good enough. I think it was Otten on that occasion, not good enough. The contest to, just bring the ball to ground or get it out of that area, be a little bit more desperate than that. But Geary's ability to get back and then to win the ball and finish was very well done.
So what a great start for St Kilda.
Yeah, 1 beat 4. That doesn't happen very often. They've been very alert for that switch by the Crows. I think St Kilda are very much aware that that's the way the Crows like to play.
And they've been on to it all night, haven't they? They've really done very well at cutting that pass off Goddard. Just had to fish for it a bit, and then it came off Riley. Porpleish's hands were good. Back to Riley, who was able to straighten up in the end, but not a good kick. Pressure on Baker, Edwards. Back to Knights. Riley's run hard, back to Knights. Natural left foot, he put Doughty under the pump. Adelaide continually going back, and that's a free kick to the Crows.
On the full Adelaide free kick.
So a bit stiff there. Del Santo. So they refuse to do that U-turn, the Crows, which is the modern way, but at times by going back, they've put themselves under the pump. Riley, tip it almost. Walker just can't quite get the rhythm of the game tonight. Terrific tipper, wasn't he? And I reckon he's forced that. That was great play by Tippett in hard.
Well, watching him last week, blurs the line between aggression and stupidity at times. He gives a lot of free kicks away, but that was really good, desperate, aggressive play by a big fella in your forward 50.
That's perfect.
That can be a fuzzy line anyway. Here's Bernie Vince, 35 possessions last week, a career high against the Magpies. Runs around, snaps, that's beautiful. As Pythagoras would draw it up.
Thought that through well, didn't he, Vince? I guess the straight drop punt would have been worth a go, but it's amazing. If you can come in 5 metres, it opens up the angle so much, and the ball across the boot, the good kicks are able to do that. The defensive pressure obviously set up the shot at goal, but it really was making a possible chance. Opened up by 5 metres, fair few degrees. Good execution.
If there's one thing Bernie Vince does do very well, it's kick the ball. Very rarely does he turn it over.
He's only had 3 kicks tonight. 8 disposals, 3 kicks, but he is a beautiful kick.
He's been well held.
Gee, they like that one around the corner. Marriage, Midley a lot closer in, but Vince was a beauty, wasn't it? So Adelaide get the one back that Geary scored.
Hands in the back.
Ooh. So Otten's had a horror here.
Put your hands in the middle of his back.
He's had a horror couple of minutes against Geary.
Umpire McBurney was much closer to that. You would have thought on a better angle, at about 45 degrees behind. You can see him in the distance there, top of the picture.
So Geary pumps it into about 20 metres. Kazitsky, and quickly Milne kicks the goal. So the Saints again get away.
When they lined up the two teams after half-time, Andrew McLeod was back into his back six position. He was matched up on Stephen Milne, and I just wonder when that happened, would Ross Lyon have been happy with that match-up that Milne might get off McLeod and kick a goal? Would Neil Craig be happy with it? They've swapped over now, but it was an interesting match-up at the start of the second half.
John Cock and McLeod were just standing next to one another, then wondering who was going to walk back to him.
So the margin back at 16 points now, coming off a terrific season last year. 60 goals for Stephen Milne, his best 61 in a season. Haven't seen much of Nick Revolt. Nathan Bock, a master craftsman in defence. Rucks go at it. Marich knocked it down. Head down Del Santo. Del Santo's got the free. Drives it out towards left half forward. Well-weighted kick. Gardner has to stretch. The only man who could touch that footy.
Hold it. Still me.
75 metres from goal. Short one. Here's the umpire. Ball. Time to measure the kick. Wilt almost. Otten knocks it away. Boundary throw in just outside the attacking 50 for the Saints, who are looking dangerous.
What St Kilda decided to do is whoever Andrew McLeod's direct opponent is, he takes him deeper to defence and makes him play closer to goal, and it's working for the Saints at the moment.
Marich going back, beaten by Gardner. Follows up, that is Marich. And the umpire, I think, will call for it.
So it's a 100-metre kick.
St Kilda, unnecessary.
Punch me in the face.
Unnecessary. Free kick to you. Can't make you made contact with him. Give him the ball. 50.
Oh.
Well, he's just given them a goal, the young fella.
Got a feeling he might come off for a little rest.
He's bringing himself off.
He's just headed there. The runner certainly couldn't have got out there that quick.
Well, he's run just about all night, so he's a hard man to replace, isn't he?
That was an automatic.
Thanks, buddy.
So Gardner to kick the goal, and Adelaide in trouble now. They're a long way down.
All clear.
Been a bit of talk in football, I think justifiably so. Can there be an intermediate penalty rather than 50 metres? I mean, that was a very minor thing for 50 metres. It was a free kick in the first place. And we'll see the action. Possibly we might not see the 50-metre penalty, but it is a big penalty for a slight indiscretion.
We talked about the improvement in Nick Del Santo's play, his ability to play inside the contest. Out of the first 4 ball-ups in this second half, he's had his hands on the ball 3 out of the 4 times and has been able to either handball or clear the ball. He started this second half terrifically.
Gardner looking in pretty good form too. You saw Del Santo run into a dead end. Ball emerges with the football and floats it down towards half forward. John Cock works in front and takes the mark. Marich is sitting down after giving away that 50. I think Gardner played it up. Ball comes across from Bock, taken by Doughty. But no doubting it was there. Long kick towards half forward, kicking it over Baker. Van Berlo a little too quick to give. And that ball's rushed across the line. Knights had it, lost it, and Baker beat a couple. So the numbers favouring the attacking team right there.
This is exactly what Tim was talking about. The ability to keep on the move through a clearance is something that Nick Del Santo does very well. And he does have strength through the core to hold himself in tackles and work through heavy pressure.
Jump off! Jump off! Thank you. Thank you. Straight up. Yeah, tonight.
Tippett, missed by Knights. Graham round the body. Revolt attacking hard, get the ball in front.
Good hands.
And McWalter was very good there. Almost half volleyed it. Goodwin couldn't quite, and Milne was John Cock on Milne brilliantly. Releases Schneider to Montagna. Good tackle though. Just thinking about the young Bucks, a twofold question. The young guys for Adelaide not doing as well as 50 tonight.
A lot of 50-metre penalties.
There has. But the
That's
old
not a free kick, is it?
no,
It was a good tackle.
the
I
oldies.
know, mate. There it is. Cheers, bud.
McLeod, Goodwin, and Edwards also not having the same impact as last week.
No, well, and that's what happens when the opposition's done the homework, and they have a look at the young players, they have a look at the experienced players, and they try and cut them out.
Doughty through midfield, kicks inside the forward 50. Goddard taken to ground. Ball just fell out. Eventually, Baker loves that situation. Got boot to ball. Van Burlo went to ground as well, trying to dig it out to support. Succeeded. Porplecia, Thompson, McKay. Edwards goes back. McLeod across the ground. Was it 15? Yes. Doughty took the mark. Goodwin. Now Otten bursts to the 50. Lines up and hits the behind post on the full. Out of bounds on the full. And just going back to that last free kick, it was only the 7th for Adelaide, and the Saints have had 20.
Yeah, that's a bit one-sided, but if you look at this match, there's no doubt that looking at both teams, that St Kilda, the game is being played on St Kilda's terms. They've been able to make it a one-on-one battle. They've been able to make everything a contest, and they'd prefer that, especially with an Adelaide side who likes to create that run and carry from the back. They just haven't given them that opportunity at all this evening.
Arms up now.
Finding it hard to score here, the Crows.
Play on.
Touching Baker hard on Edwards there. McKay, Vince, Goodwin, Riley, Bock. Again, the Saints able to put some pressure. Bock kept his nerve. Got to John Cock. Trying to lure Gwilt to him. That's great corralling by Montagna and also Gwilt. High ball. Walker went very early. And Dawson doing a good job mopping up to Fisher.
One bounce, confidence. Dashes to the pocket, kicks it out towards half-back, missed by Goodwin, took his eye off the football, brilliant pick up McKay. McKay feeds it back to Goodwin. Doughty, intercepted though, well done McWalter, into the path of Milne, who takes it out of bounds.
He mentioned before the game, it's obviously round 2 and round 1 really finds the players out when they get to that tempo. 6-day break, the more veteran players going to struggle more with that short break.
The players on either side, either the really young ones or the really old ones. In between, the hardened ones are going to be able to recover quicker.
It was Tippett who won it down. It finishes with Vince, 65 metres out. Long ball to the pocket. Douglas hands to it. He's going to get a free kick.
This is a square up for the one that Taylor Walker didn't get.
Well, they've just been ranking up the hand passes in this term. Adelaide, can't remember what the figures were at half-time. I should have jotted them down, but
83 to 130.
Well, it's now 97 to 159. Almost negates the breeze. Almost negates the breeze if you're going to handle the ball that much in midfield. Douglas with a chance. You've got to trust it sometimes and kick it in long on the breeze. Takes a couple to come back. Douglas misses what he should have kicked.
Scotty Stevens, I think they're missing tonight.
Yes, very much.
He's a good contested mark, isn't he?
Back a metre. Yeah, fine there.
He's a good one-on-one player for the ball. Poor Pleasure's been well held by Gilbert, as Tim mentioned. And Scott Stevens definitely would have enjoyed these conditions.
Tippett's kicked a couple, but both Walker and Henschel that's out in the full. Walker and Henschel have struggled forward as well.
But when you look at that whole group, Porpleach is a top-notch player, but really the others they're fairly unproven, fairly inexperienced kids.
Starting out, aren't they? McKay, Thompson. It's a tough pocket though, that one at the moment. There's Tippett. So Thompson thinking, will he just sit it up or have a shot here? You can see the angle. It's going to take a terrific kick.
Just backing up what Den was saying, 7 Crows players have had more than 10 handballs. Just 1 Crows player's had 10 kicks.
Can it come back on the win? And King happy to build it over. So the Saints won't mind that.
Thompson has been good tonight, though. Coming back into the team this last week. Elite midfielder. Del Santo. Margin is 20 points. It seems more on balance of play. Graham in the back pocket. So Adelaide, still plenty of time. Wind assisted. In here as Edwards takes a mark on his chest, goes back towards the square, and Walker is marked 15 metres out. Well,
the effort of Brent Riley was fantastic there. Won't be something that'll be acknowledged in widely, but he came up on the mark, he made himself big, he jumped around here, he pushed Graham back, forced him to look for an option. Gave his teammates upfield time to find their men, and really created that opportunity for Edwards and then again for Taylor Walker.
Some players just too cool on the mark, just go through the motions. That time Riley bouncing around like a box full of frogs. That's what we want. Walker comes in and kicks the goal.
Yes, again, a forward pretty much standing on his own and taking a mark. It was poor defence by St Kilda. They had the chance to spoil the kick. The turnover in the back 50, I guess, creates the opportunity. And the fact that Edwards tried to set up another teammate and having a crack himself, but really, I would have thought it was a bad misjudgment. I think the blustery breeze is affecting this game tonight a fair bit. The ball is not where players think it's going to be in the air.
We'll be pleased with that Walker, just 18 years of age. New South Wales scholarship player from Broken Hill. There is Riley, did the job on the mark. So Adelaide back to 14 points and getting a little wriggle on now. Edwards inside the 50, Walker took off. Douglas and Blake. Douglas toe poked, Gilbert and Blake with him. And Blake was all over the top of Douglas there. No free kick. Thompson thrown out of it. Adelaide have got a sniff for a moment, you reckon, here? They've just lifted.
Oh, that is stiff. The ball fell down. The ball was out, fell down into Douglas's arms. He was stiff then.
Once you hold it back in on the ground,
I thought when Blake went in very hard on him that he might have got the first free kick. But the ump was sweating off, and I think...
The ump was sweating off him.
Yeah. He's looking for a free.
This is Hayes, got it from King. Revolt a long way up the ground. Hayes left it behind. Downey went to ground. No benefit of the Downey.
Let him up.
So it's basically out there and it falls back into him, and that's...
That's the drive-by holding the ball.
I don't think he dived on it. He was on his back.
Oh, golly. Marriage knocks it down. Vince taken high. Surely umpire. Oh dear. Del Santo. Gwilt. Jones. Hayes. Great to see him back. Fed it forward. Gwilt once more. Way to no one in particular.
Stump in the back downfield to St Kilda. Stephen King.
This could get nasty. 61 to 47. For your people, Bruce, speak with them.
I think they're angry. What's the free kick, Ken?
There, Scott. There, Scott.
22 to 8.
Yours.
Do you want the handballs?
Ray to Blake.
That's it there.
I think they're more than the free kicks.
You've gone around. Right.
I wouldn't have thought that watching the game, though.
I think if you get 250 handballs, you just get an automatic win.
Play on.
I think that's what happens these days.
First to 200.
First to 200.
Close to Adam Phil Baker's mark at half-back.
Really liked his game, and the intensity that he brings to St Kilda makes a massive difference. They missed him at various times last year. I think they're a better side when he plays.
So punching it into the breeze, you could see it held up there. Edwards and Goodwin.
Stuck under both of them. He hasn't got possession.
He the heart of their tough nut in the field.
Yes.
You think, Bucks? Baker?
When you have those spiritual leaders in every club, and I'm no doubt that he would be the man at St Kilda.
King did well there, got a second effort, and Schneider forward of the ball can hurt the Crows here with a good-looking kick. Brilliant by Rutten. John Cock leapfrogged over the top of Kazitsky. Back to Brock, back to McLeod. Important kick, finds the target. McKay at half-back.
He's a good kid, McKay. Easy to spill that mark.
I was very pleased. I saw a forward at least move at the kicker.
Snyder didn't know what to do. A bit of space in front of a forward leading at him.
Lee Montagne's kick out on the full.
Heard the umpire moments ago. Saw John Cock like a young Tim Watson. Ball down towards the pocket. Schneider got a fist on it. Geary back to Schneider. Runs into an open goal. Bores it through.
Well, you wonder how a team can get 3 forwards against 1 defender in their forward 50, but that's really what happened on that other side of the ground when St Kilda got the ball here, and in this situation it ends up being 3 St Kilda players in camera shot.
Well, they both.
2 Crows players come in, but they're just completely outnumbered.
McKay got to his feet quickly, but he goes to the ball carrier, who really is already being pressured there by John Cock. It was a poor defensive decision. It cost him a goal.
Schneider's been on his own a lot in this quarter. I mean, he had the ball a moment ago, 50 out. Still really hasn't got a direct opponent. Now Petrenko goes over to him. So Saints going well here, going like winners. A long way to go. 10 goals to 7, low scoring. But Adelaide finding it hard to get that running, flowing game going.
Thanks, Ivan.
It's all due to St Kilda's pressure. They've been very good in that area and been able to turn the ball over and not give Adelaide any room to run at all.
Ball was third man up.
Always interesting when you look at this stoppage in the middle of the ground. I can find a spare St Kilda defender. They've got an extra number in the Crows forward line, but I can't find the spares Crows player. Maybe that's Goodwin, is it?
Dangerfield it is.
Dangerfield slightly, but he's sucked in so tight that he's not in dangerous space.
So not really creating an edge in numbers, is he?
So one of the things you hate as a coach when you can see the opposition spare player and you can't find yours, because you know he's getting into the congested area where basically it doesn't really much matter if it's 10 of you against 9 of them. The numbers don't matter.
You've got to jump off quickly now. Got to go quick.
Well, the Crows aren't even rounding up Sam Gilbert, who is the loose St Kilda playing. By rounding up, I mean coming up to him and making it a 2-on-1 rather than a 1-on-0.
Well, Porplesia is the senior man down there. He should be telling Tippett and Walker what to do if it's not coming from the bench. And they're trying to sort it out now. Porplesia's gone across and is having a word.
That's it.
Yes, well done, Porplesia. Although they haven't rounded up Gilbert. Somebody lasso him. There's the bounce in the centre square. Comes to Edwards. Petrenko. Petrenko is through. Paid advantage. Goes in short. Walker knew what he was doing.
Short kick. Play on.
The play on's the call. Walker 60 metres out. Around the body, it bounces to Blake. Nothing going right for the Crows at the moment, or is it? Knights puts it out of bounds on the full.
Let's have a look at this. Yeah, maybe 30 or 40, something like that. But it was close most of the time. Sometimes they're going to get paid, sometimes they're not. But it's a very line draw, wasn't it?
15 and a half, I reckon.
Fair to say they're not getting the rub of the green tonight.
Yep.
The umpires in the green. Marriage comes up and takes the mark.
And then decides to go with a long ball to fall forward. Knights the target. Saints getting back. They really should kick a goal, and Walker hits the post. Got the angle all right. Douglas, I think, wanted the footy, and Walker in the better position. So Adelaide needing the next goal, you would reckon. They're pressing hard. Riley, Petrenko just dropped it out. Marriage good again there to John Cock. John Cock's kick. Dowdy, it was just too tall for him. And this is a terrific result for the Saints. Adelaide had the run of it. Montagna to Ray to Milnes.
Kazitsky is on. Kazitsky in the pocket. Well, ignores that. That is a shocking effort. Well, it took 2 Crows to complete it. John Cock fumbled. Riley, brilliant pick up by McLeod. Put the head down. Surely.
Plenty of time holding the ball.
Wow.
It's a very poor passage of play all around.
Now when you crept about 5 minutes around.
Not a good look.
He won't be putting his hand up to come off.
No. Goes down on the stats as another clearance. Ray in trouble as Fisher. Walker's got it in the opposite direction. McLeod's away, a little too casual. Ray is tracking him. McLeod and Ray.
St Kilda got all the players forward to the footy. That's why he didn't kick it.
It didn't go 15. Thompson. Fisher. Hayes did well. Graham. Farron Ray seems to have found a home. Has looked good back there last week and again tonight. Del Santo.
Yep, got it there.
Adelaide just lost their structure for a minute there. I mean, McLeod had nothing to go to at all.
Well, both teams are getting tired again. This happens early in the season.
Gardner. Del Santo worked hard there. Not a great kick. Too tall though for Marriage. Petrenko has had a good couple of minutes. Edwards, normally good with the footy. He's done it again as he did earlier to Walker, didn't he?
Well, you can try and take the ball with you, and if you succeed, great. But I'm afraid Del Santo then tried to take the ball outside the line of his body, and if you don't take it, it looks very bad.
you'd reckon this is a good bloke to have the footy right now. He's a finisher, Paul Pleasure.
Still with the breeze.
He's a long way out. He'll have to start it to the right-hand goalpost. Can he go the distance and give Adelaide some big hope? He's hooked it a bit, but he might have got it. He is the man for the moment. Adelaide, stay alive.
We've spoken a couple of times about how the teams come off round one, but I thought most of the night, neither side has looked like they've really got a whole lot of energy to be able to carry the footy. We'll see what happens to friendly fire. Wrong word for that, friendly, but inflicted by a teammate. But neither side looks like they've got a great ability to run and carry the footy. It's hard work.
67 plays 54. Let's listen to the Saints.
Talls and smalls down there, and for pleasure, can obviously kick a lot of goals. We got caught out a couple of times last week with talls on smalls.
What we're going to have to watch out for the 4 quarters is that we know there's a lot of players that can go through there. Obviously, their half forwards can play in the midfield, and as I said, the communication factor with our mids is really important.
Petrenko gives it back to McLeod. Swings it out wide. The mark is taken by Doughty on the defensive 50. Couple of late goals would be good for the Crows. Vince drives it along that outer side wing. They've got some run. Marich alongside Knights there for moral support. Knights peels off. Well done by the big man. Prepared to run hard alongside his teammate carrying the footy. Poor Pleasure over the top. Spectacular mark.
Sometimes knowing what you've got confronting you that weekend is not necessarily enough. We saw in that forwards or the defenders meeting that they were aware of, in particular this fella. He kicked the winning goal last week, and he can put on 5-minute patches, and he did do this consistently last year where he kept his team in the game.
Gets another one.
In fact, let them get away from the opposition. He's a great player.
Margin back to 7.
It's an interesting situation too. You always say to defenders, if your opponent flies, you've got to go as well. As the ball comes in here, we see that Pleature is allowed to actually fly at the pack. I think Fisher was his opponent at the time, and Fisher just didn't quite go. And it's amazing, he's not a tall man, Pleature, but when you're able to jump at the footy, get full reach, even against the big fellas, you can get your hands up at it at the footy.
In the last couple of minutes, we've seen the star quality of the Adelaide Crows come to the fore. Paul Pleasure, we've already seen him take a couple of marks, kick a couple of goals. McLeod's had the ball, Edwards and Goodwin, and they're the players that really need to get involved if Adelaide are to get over the top of the Saints in the last quarter and a bit.
Tim Watson on the boundary line. G. Hayes was good then. Punched forward by McQualter. Rutten at the back. Wanted to give it away hurriedly, but did well. Dangerfield fell over. Goddard. Montaigne had a magnificent first half.
The Crows are really coming with some energy now. He said that they lost their structure forward, but the couple of minutes leading up to that, they were outworking the St. Kilda side for probably the first time in the evening, and they've got their tails up.
Marich, as Dylan said, was fantastic a moment ago when he ran alongside Knights and created a shield for him. But he owes him one.
The clearances are equal at the moment for the game, 23-23, but the Crows have got more players at the clearances, so you'd think that they should get a little bit of ascendancy in that part of the game.
Tippett helping out, McLeod. So those oldies starting to get some touches, aren't they? Here's Goddard. Blake did well to create a screen. This is an interesting ball. Goddard's kick across the centre. Free kick surely to Riley. Walker should have given it to Paul Pleasure. Needs to kick a goal and hits the post.
His second.
Well, had to just give it off, really.
Just a bit of composure from a young player. He thought he had a sniff on the top of 50. He had no one around him. He thought 1-2 steps. I'll kick this from 50.
Was it Riley in the centre? I couldn't tell.
It was Paul Pleasure running towards goal.
Yeah, but was it who won the ball in the centre? I think it was Riley pushing forward. Whoever. It was good stuff. Adelaide finishing with the wet sail here.
Just over 4 minutes till 3/4 time. Out of bounds. Throw in just outside the attacking 50. Right again.
I think.
And remember, they were 18 points behind Collingwood late in the third quarter, weren't they?
Well won ball by Adelaide to force it back inside their 50. Not able to punish the Saints with it. Del Santo across the body. In front, Van Burlo again ricochets off his chest. Jones kept it in initially. Hayes goes back inside. Riley runs it out.
We did speak about early in the game about conserving energy, the midfield zone versus the man-on-man accountable style. And, you know, if the Adelaide Crows run this game out better, you'd have to think there's something in that.
Jones. McWalter from half-back. Revolt won't get to the contest. Terrific mark. Juggled mark taken by Goodwin. The skipper plays on. Gives it across to Rutten. He's looking for support. He's got plenty. Goes to Vince. Vince hand passes forward. Rather casual by Dowdy. Ricochets back to him. He's in trouble. The umpires have been dynamite on this tonight. Not this time.
Wasn't high, I'll have it. Straight up, guys, straight up. Come on, boys. Clock's ticking.
Just thought Vince might have gone the long ball then. They're starting to catch it up forward, Adelaide. Paul Pleasure's not a bad target, I reckon, right now in a one-on-one.
No, you're right.
And he can kick a long ball. Persisting with that handball. Gee, Hayes in good. Good umpire.
No way, got to give him the chance.
You're a brave man to take the ball to ground tonight. The umpires have been pretty quick on the whistle with those.
Just love it when they give the bloke prepared to win the footy just some breathing space. Tippett took it out of the air. Ball pushed it forward. Van Burlo. Geary quickly onto him.
On again.
Hasn't he been good in the last few minutes? Van Burlo standing against the tide.
Gently up, gently up.
Bucks, how tiring is it as a player in the modern game when you're being tackled left, right and centre in situations like this?
Yeah, well, it doesn't quite happen as often. We said St Kilda have just stabilised this game to create repeat clearances because Crows don't necessarily want that.
Del Santo gets it from Gwilt inside the centre square. Numbers favour the Crows. It bounces inside the forward 50. Rutten looking to repel. Bock. They're hard to beat, those two. Douglas has got it. He's breaking. Runners to the broadcast side. Riley won't bother bouncing the ball, or Willie. A man just came through the gates then. I said wouldn't bother because Dowdy was on for the kick, but he was picked up by Gardner, who ran through the interchange gates. That's a dangerous kick. He centred it prematurely, but it may come off. Dangerfield emerges with the football. Goes across the ground. Taken out there by McKay. He's away, slides a hand pass through to McLeod. Petrenko got into his move early. Goddard falling to the ground, gets a hand pass to McWalter. McWalter forward of half-back, kicks it up towards the wing. Darren Ray takes the mark. Told to play on, just over 2 minutes to three-quarter time. Game in the balance. Revolt on the lead.
Got to move it quicker than that.
Moving on, play on, play on.
Concedes some ground and doesn't find his target here. Saints are tired by the look of it. Goddard to Dawson. They've got some loosies here though. Gilbert's on his own further on. Blake. Adelaide trying to stop Gilbert now, and Blake goes back.
Back yours, you got it there, Scott. Thank you.
Well, the bloke's running sideways to space, but no one's getting through the centre corridor, which is really the way you're going to put the opposition under defence under pressure.
So McWalter to Fisher.
Pretty happy to chew up the clock here, aren't they? From where Rewalt took the ball probably 20 metres forward to where Gardner has it now, they've just been happy to try and chew up the clock and get to three-quarter time. That's a sign of tiredness.
Gardner from half-back, kicks beyond the wing, close to the boundary line. Coming back, Geary takes the mark just inside the line. He's been handy, Geary. Prepared to go forward. He's kicked a goal and made another. Sends it long, just shy of the 50. Big pack at the drop. Otten got a fist on it. Chance for the Crows on the loose ball. Overrun poor Pleasure. Taken by Graham. Well done. Hoisted very high. Downwards full forward. Revolt in from the side. Bounced off his chest. Crumbed by Vince. Leading is Riley. Bounces obligingly for Edwards. 25 seconds. Can they draw level? Rutten to Riley, runs the outer wing, kicks down towards the attacking 50. Young Walker will need to go. The mark of a veteran. That was terrific. He's looking for 50, quick thinking. What's going on here?
Got to go behind the mark.
So he's saying Walker was beyond the mark, was he?
At the other end here, the twin targets of Rewalt and Kazitsky. We saw Rewalt pull out of a contest earlier when Kazitsky took an uncontested mark. Either one of them could have done that on that occasion for a simple chest mark.
Well, if he marked the ball, I'm just wondering how he was beyond the mark. Still, good point. 55 metres out. He fell on the ground having marked the ball, didn't he?
What's the mark, Zach? You're right on it.
Anyway, Walker will kick after the siren. Not a bad looking effort. It's working back left to right. Misses narrowly, does it? Or has he got the goal? No, it's just missed. Fist pump, but I think he liked the kick, but not liked it enough. 10-7-67. Adelaide 9 his counterpart. The Saints terrific, giving us that access to their week leading up to this game. Let's see how it pans out for them. Everything to play for, and the umpire will bounce it again.
Thank you.
5 points the difference. Gardner and Marich. Marich hasn't had a lot of
The
support.
jumper, St Kilda free kick.
He gives away a free
had
kick.
A handful of Gardner's jumper.
Gardner wants it back. Wants to move it quickly. No run from behind. Bit of a luxury at this stage of the game, being that sort of game. Gardner touched off the boot. It floats down towards the 50. Porplicia's in front in the opposite direction. Goddard could have been taken high. Gwilt gives a hand pass to Del Santo. Floats one down towards the pocket. Going back with a flood of it. Goodwin. Montagna was that in the back. John Cock flicks it out. Taken by Gwilt. Gwilt, wonderful stuff. Deserving of a goal. And he's missed the near side.
The first part was brilliant. That ball came very quickly to his shoelaces. It was a great pick-up, and as he indicated afterwards, perhaps there was a handball target there, but good play initially to take that ball cleanly.
What about John Cock? He grabbed the ball, he dived forward and then scooped it back between his
He
legs.
was going to make sure that he wasn't going to lay on it.
Short to Bock. And then Bock flirting a bit there to Goodwin. So the two captains opposed there, Goodwin and Revolt. Otten set a task. Geary went early. Del Santo, does it stay in play? Vince belts it out.
Geez, both sides have played outside football tonight or defended the centre corridor or the centre square. There's been very few times of either team attacked through the centre square.
Del Santo's thrown his boot away, sorry Lee. So his left boot is absent for the moment. You see it being picked up there. Front spot, Thompson. There is Del Santo without the boot. Porplicia.
That's the part of the Adelaide game that when Andrew McLeod can actually come off half-back and actually run straight through the centre square, that's when they really get some attacking flow, but haven't seen that much tonight.
Goddard brilliantly down to Graham, gets a hand pass to Ball. His kick is wide of the mark. How will it bounce? The other way. Behind. Geary, an emerging player, terrific moments ago, just peeling off his man, had the confidence to come up and spoil. He needed to.
Porplesia is in such good form that Neil Craig's decided that he wants him up in the midfield, so he's giving him a burst up there the first 5 or 6 minutes probably of this quarter, and you'd expect him to be closer to goal as the quarter wears on to try and do some damage on the scoreboard again.
A real tug of war at the moment. McLeod to the pocket. Goodwin. Few possessions already in this term. Thompson.
Hold it there, Luke. Find there,
He's at
Luke.
left half back. Marich moving across the ground almost in slow motion. He may well be the target though, although Kazitsky is coming back to him now. Thompson doesn't like that option. Switches it. Rutten needs to be precise with the hand pass here. Measures it. Goodwin. Goodwin to Doughty. Back to Goodwin. They've taken a risk. It's paid off. 1-on-2 on the outer side. The man I mentioned earlier, Marich, set a big task. Put the body in willingly. Ray flicks out of there, taken by McLeod. Well done, Marich. He fought a draw, an honourable draw. McLeod kicks down towards full forward. Tippett outnumbered. Off the hands, it runs back behind. Blake's under pressure, takes a slide, tries to find a way through. Gilbert's in trouble, had it a while. Still a battle down there. Applying a tackle is Tippett, and it's going against Blake. It'll be a free kick to Tippett. directly in front, 5 metres out, and this will bring them within 1 point.
There was great forward pressure, but a great deal of fatigue with St Kilda ball in hand, but the Adelaide Crows refused to let it out.
Back another 2 metres. Keep coming back another 2 metres.
So Tippett.
Perfect tackle.
42 back another 2 metres. Nick.
And you would have thought last year that St Kilda just would have rushed that ball through.
Absolutely.
So that's the new rule, and it's created this pressure opportunity that they could take advantage of.
Going at his 3rd goal. Tippett comes in and slots it. There's a point to difference on Friday Night Football.
He doesn't really have to get a whole heap of touches to be effective, Kurt Tippett. When he played his best football last year, it was deep forward, and he only needed to take 3 or 4 contested marks and have 3 or 4 shots on goal. He hasn't got the cleanest kicking style, but he gets his possession so close to goal that
he just
they're
draws the
very
ball in, doesn't he?
effective.
Bucks draws it in long.
Terrific return for Tippett. It's actually his first game against the Saints in a home and away. He got 4 goals in the NAB Cup final against them last year here.
Last year, like this year, we've wondered where they were going to get their goals from. Tippett was important last year to be that long target deep. He's played better today than he did last week, playing exactly that role.
Well, Tippett and Port Pleasure got 6 of the 10 tonight between them. 3 from both. So Saints now have had the last 4 goals kicked against them, so they're hanging on.
Ball pinned, I'll have it.
They need to see if Nick Rewald can get clear of Nathan Bock. I saw him stretching his calf 10 or 15 seconds ago. He's now playing near the full forward line, but he does look a little bit uncomfortable even walking. I think he's tightening up a little bit, but Bock has had much the better of that duel tonight.
2 All-Australians from last year opposed to one another.
Yeah.
I'll have it again. Gently up. Thanks, mate.
Do you reckon playing at home, Lee, when it ggets tight like this, does it help you at all, do you think?
Well, the crowd has got to be a factor when there's a bit of a now. They've come from behind and they're behind the local team.
There is Port Pleasure on the ball.
Ball was immediately pinned. No prior opportunity. Thank you.
So who can get the break from the stoppage? St Kilda pressing forward. Just twice Adelaide have come from behind under Neil Craig to win at Amy in the final term.
Graham got it from Goddard. He can kick it a long way. Graham hit the post. What's that bit?
Well, that evens it up a little bit. Taylor Walker hit the post twice in the 3rd quarter.
Margin 2 points. Nathan Bock, one of the star defenders in the competition. All Australian to himself. Comes broadcast side Marriage. She's fought hard tonight, Marriage. Got a hand to it. Falls to Graham. Spots a man in the middle. Bounces awkwardly for Milne. Poor Pleasure tried to knock it on. John Cock. Gee, that was clever by McLeod. Well, as it worked out. Not clever enough. Gardner's got it. Gardner inside the centre square. High ball from behind. Gwilt didn't fly. Rebolt got hands to it. Schneider set away on his left side. He's kicked a goal.
The ability to be in the right place at the front of the pack there. There's almost individual efforts are going to score goals. Their team goals of being able to run and flow the footy. It just really hasn't happened most of the night. But as fatigue set in, there'll be even less of that. It's the question, can you get it in? Got to the front, got to the crumbing position, then good enough off 1 step to goal.
Rewald's effort there to bring that ball to the ground in the front of the pack was a great effort.
Well, Mackie, you spoke about Trent Henschel at 3/4 time. I can tell you that he has only played 36 minutes of the game, and we didn't see him leave the field, but we believe now that he is inside the Crows' dressing rooms. They're being extremely coy, though, about what the injury may be.
Thanks, Tim. Remember, he didn't play any of 07 or 08. Shocking injury here in round 21-06. And, well...
Got to come back around the mark and then win a few metres forward.
Bernie Vince needed to get back and contest that ball on that occasion.
That it's not a terrible story for Henschel. So Schneider's been good in the second half. Kicked a couple of second half goals. And the Saints just a little bit of breathing space. It's still tight, but there are a couple of kicks in front. Gilbert, well, that was clever.
lucky, I think, Bruce.
Well,
I don't think he even saw
One of
it.
the two.
you played 332 and Bucks played 280 and I've played none. I'll have to go with you, but gee, I liked it. Vince. Bob. Bad handball. Marriage gone.
Let it go, Ivan.
Well, he had no chance in Marriage.
As soon as Dalsano got the arm with the footy pinned, it was only a question would the umpire give him the leniency or not.
But the Bock handball was the problem, wasn't it? And now a revolt.
At 49, Nathan, at 49 metres. Just
Got a
one
bit of
more-
bruise
one
in his
metre
back. Is
behind.
this within his range?
I think so.
Yeah. Oh, in the first quarter, definitely.
Yeah, right
Bit of a
now he's very
challenge now.
tired, and I think Brick saw as well.
About to find out. This would give St Kilda a very handy break. Well, he hasn't timed it at all. But
Great effort.
his mate's
Good mark.
taken a terrific mark. Kazicki.
That's no mean effort against Ben Rutten, All-Australian fullback from last year, and
05.
05.
Yeah, but Rutten 05.
He's lost
and
his
one of the
body
best
quite a bit
defenders
tonight.
Yep.
in
thought
the comp.
I reckon tonight Rutten's lost Kazicki's body a couple of times. Normally Rutten would have his body against Kazicki and not allow him free access to the ball. But just at the moment, Kazicki's just outread him 3 or 4 times.
And this is how the match started, wasn't it? With St Kilda's big forwards creating a problem. And Cossey's kicked 3 and they're away.
And again, it's the individual effort, isn't it, really? It was just a long kick in. Didn't make the distance. It was a pat mark and the ability to take a pat mark worth their weight in goal. As I said, I've hardly
Calling
seen a
for help.
forward. Yeah. Then let's see how Rutten plays this. He tries to get his body. He just didn't read it.
He didn't make any body contact at all.
Didn't read it. He just...
If you're
read
gonna,
the footy.
if you can't read it, don't you just start pushing on your man?
5 points at three-quarter time. It's now out to 14. Trent Henschel looking on. Don't know what the story is as yet. As Tim said, they're being pretty coy. We're told a quad injury at this stage. Hopefully that's all it is.
Wow.
And they're not great. After the ball goes Douglas. Shovels it out. And that ball's not coming out.
Both arms dragged it in.
So the Crows need the next one. Knights, who started so well, has drifted out of the game. King, part of a double team on Marish. Marish wins it down again. Goes across towards Otten, to no one in particular. John Cock trying to get through. That's ambitious. Dragged down. Ball jarred out of there. Jones hand passes it straight up in the air. Edwards goes to ground under a strong tackle.
Fine, no prior off. I'll
And
have
it's
it again.
grueling stuff now.
Thanks, guys. Lenny,
We
Tyson.
heard Ross Lyon talking during the week. 74 tackles in the first round. St Kilda second only to Carlton. Well, they're at 69 now, and you'd think that they'll surpass their round 1 total. Something they were aiming for all week.
Gee, Jones did well there. Half a chance to get a handball away, and then Schneider bravely in. Ray, Graham, good effort too by Otten to put his body over the ball. Under pressure, Petrenko, and also Milne. They need it at the other end, Adelaide. It's been played now in St Kilda's half.
I think it's tiring when you're on the back foot all the time. We saw that with St Kilda towards the end of the third quarter when Adelaide hit the scoreboard. You can't afford to spend your time on the ropes.
Tippett helping out. Knew he couldn't really take it out of the air. And that's in the back.
They've only had one inside 50 entry in the first 13 minutes of play.
Goddard, quick kick to Revolt. Good one to get back. Well done. Cut it off.
That's him gone, James.
Good one. Off a step then, just pops it out wide.
On yours.
Van Burlo up towards the wing. Dangerfield coming back with a flight of it. Takes the mark, wants to go. Thompson, hard against the boundary. Feeds it onto Edwards. They're tight, as you can see. Edwards running out of space. Comes back inside. Beats the would-be tackle of Graham. Time to settle. Thompson flat-footed, needs to go again. They're running out of space. It's out of bounds.
That might have hurt a shoulder in that tackle too. Either he's done a little AC joint or maybe just a bit of a bruise.
I have to say the history of the night has shown that Adelaide have finished the quarters better.
Tippett just probably got his fingers to it. Jones, well done to Hayes. Back to Jones, and then Jones scrambling towards Revolt. Back to Bock. He's played well tonight, Bock.
I reckon this is a game where ownership's 9/10 of all. In other words, ownership of the lead. There's 14-point advantage at the moment. The way the game is being played, the Crows are a long, long way from getting shots at goal.
Well, the way the game's gone, as Graham comes off the field, so often when a team comes back from behind, they get close, but they just can't get past them. And that's Adelaide got to within a point, but St Kilda kicked the last 2 goals.
Petrenko slung to the ground. Gee, good in there, and then Otten to match him.
They expend so much energy to get back into the game that the opposition have got it on the counter-attack.
I mean, it's the obvious thing to say, but the next goal, you reckon, decides so much here. If Saints get it, it would be just about enough, you would think, in the way the game's been played. But if Adelaide can get it, they'll lift here. Now, Edwards, good kick. Goodwin has been busy in the second half. Rutten.
Now they're through the middle.
Otten.
2 Saints sucked to that man with the ball. Otten got free. Just outside the 50. Walker is tackled as he was trying to mark. He'll get the free kick.
Right there, wait, Zach.
He looks a likely type. Hasn't had much of the ball. Told to play on, but when he goes at it, there's something about him. Long ball. Marriage is being held surely. No free kick. Punched away. Taken by Ball. Interesting hand pass. Well done by McKay. Put the body in. Poor Pleasure. He appeared to drop it. Goes after it again. Drags it back in. Oh, please.
Dragged it into him, Stephen. Good try. When it came out, then you dragged it into him.
Well, we heard early there were a couple of subtle holds, and the umpire went to great pains to say, if you put your arm around him, it's holding. Not that time.
So Adelaide pressing hard. Marriage has done a good job, except for one little moment in the match where he lost his cool. There's Graham.
They've got the midfield wall set up, the Crows, so they're outnumbered where the ball is. The question is, can they maintain the ball in their scoring zone?
Marriage just worked under it. Knights. And Knights appealing for deliberate against Geary.
16 St Kilda players in this defensive 50 at this point of time, so it's going to be hard for the Crows to work anything out of this kind of play.
Vince quickly onto the boot. Walker outnumbered, and he does look a likely type.
He's got high expectations of himself. He was disappointed then he didn't take the mark. He was 2 against 1, pinball between, I think it was Dawson and Fisher at the time, but he has a crack.
Goddard. Just inside the defensive 50. Gilbert's got it. Hugs the boundary. Ooh. That's the call. Apparently not on the full. That was touch and go. The sort of decisions you need in a tight one.
They have to get through the centre square now, don't they, the Crows? They've got to make up a 3-goal, a 13-point margin. When they attack, they've got to try and come inside and have a crack at it, even if they turn it over and get beaten by 3 or 4.
Bock has got it from Thompson. They regroup and they'll come again as Bock swings it across the ground. This will be interesting. Coming up to meet the ball is Dangerfield. Wonderful tackle. Milne almost got him down. Montagna on the assist. Terrific by the Saints. Schneider ran into a dead end. Gwilt couldn't control the footy. Dangerfield comes again. Tries to bulldog his way out of there. Nothing doing, and the umpire will ball it up. Terrific by both sides.
For those who don't reckon there's much contested footy these days, been plenty of contested footy tonight.
We're looking at an 18-year-old there in Dangerfield. The strength of his body's fantastic. Turns 19 on Sunday.
Quick kick by Jones. Little give by McWalter to Dal Santo. Dal Santo to the pocket. Good mark by the skipper.
Good outside kick, wasn't it, really? It gave Bock no chance to spoil. It was just a beautifully weighted kick to the space that Rewald wanted to move into.
This is the pocket you were talking about, Dan, that comes back a little bit right to left. Really opens the goals up. See a lot kick from here.
Just pop it up, don't you? Let the breeze do it.
And always to the near side. So Rewald busy in the last quarter. I reckon the Crows would have taken, though, what Revolt's given the Saints tonight. He's been okay, but he hasn't really hurt them. Petrenko's short.
Right there.
So Adelaide have got to take that risk that Lee spoke about 5 minutes ago.
Got to try and get through the centre square now.
Yep, time becoming a problem. Margin 14 points. Low scoring affair. Rutten, not 15. Edwards takes off from left half back. Hugs the boundary with the kick. This kid can play to McKay.
On there, Stephen. Play on.
Looks like he wouldn't blow out a candle. I was watching last week when he ran into an open goal. Expressionless. Edwards comes back. Petrenko. Now Bock is on for the short one. Peeling off his Knights. He's the next link in the chain. He's got it. Now he can run. Moving for him is Walker. He decides to go back towards the middle. Walker's still running. So is Knights. Now, eventually, due to that hard running by Walker, Van Berlo with a half chance towards full forward, spills off hands. Tippett's got 3, runs into a dead end, comes back to Walker. What can the young man do? Terrific by Fisher. That's holding it.
Good tackle.
Oh, wonderful by Fisher.
Just backing up.
Good pinning tackle. Perfect tackling technique. Got low. Got him by the hips. Dragged him to the ground. Had one arm.
No closer. No
Walker's
closer. Back
pinned.
another metre. You're angling in. Thank you.
But that was the build-up you were talking about.
Once they straightened their attack and ended up attacking from somewhere near the centre square.
Knights did take a risk, and it almost came off.
You want to swap it?
Well, he took a massive risk because he was running on his right side, and he only uses his right foot to stand up.
Down to you, Tim.
Well, there's a shot of Andrew McLeod with Jones now. I think Ross Lyons decided that he doesn't want McLeod to be a factor in this last quarter. That is now a hard tag. Jones is going everywhere McLeod goes.
St Kilda. High. St Kilda's 3. St Kilda 3.
So against Vince, who was fending off high.
Luke Ball's 3. Got him
ball.
high.
Incredible free kick count, is it, for those who take notice of such things?
What is it, Lee?
28-11 to in St Kilda's way. I mean, I don't think there's any law that says each free kick is supposed to be even. But I think the Adelaide Crows supporters may think they've been hard done by tonight.
So the Saints with some numbers out wide now. Fisher.
Across the ground. Blake. Running hard is Geary. Goes in that direction. Peeling off is Dawson. Running hard with him is Marriage. I've loved his game, Marriage, just for the effort.
Play on. Play on.
Playing a lone hand. Around the outer side. High ball down towards half forward. Petrenko at the back didn't touch it. John Cock is first back. Again, they need to think about what they're doing here. Doughty. John Cock. Bock. Petrenko. Miscues with the kick. Otten outmaneuvered there by Graham. Clever by Graham. Goes to Del Santo. Back comes Otten. Well worked by Vince. Edwards towards the wing. Dropped there by Knights. You'd expect some of those things to happen now. They're pretty tired players. Petrenko got it from Edwards. Sells a dummy to youngster. Kicks beyond the wing. They need a mark here with wonderful courage, Baker. Oh, set the scene there. Went back. It fell to Fisher. Went short to Hayes. Del Santo inside the forward 50. John Cock backs himself. Taken by Milne. Opportunity running into an open goal. Kaczynski. And that should just about do it as he kicks his 4th. No luck for John Cock.
Yeah, he did attack the ball, but he forward of his man, but he sort of half went and
High bounce, wasn't it?
It bounced over him. He could have smothered it. Would have had to have left Milne even further, but ever the opportunist, Milne was able to get the quick handball off, which was probably unexpected, but Kaczynski was able to pick it up and finish off. He's had a fantastic game.
Editorialising.
What a clever kick by the big guy.
He's been solid. Had a couple of good games in a row. Really good signs for St Kilda that he's started the season so well.
And he's on a good man, and he's lowered his colours tonight, hasn't he? So Vince, Adelaide with a mountain to climb suddenly. Geary terrific. Dawson, Del Santo to Hayes. They'll be through it if he gets through the match unscathed. Hayes looks like he's going to. Gardner running hard. And here is Cozzy again, who's become the dominant forward in the match, hasn't he? Started well and finishing very strongly. Kick to full forward. Oh, gee, nearly a mark there to Goddard getting back. And then Doughty. Now, they can't give away behind, obviously. Bock under pressure. Otten was a bit slow to move, but he made a good effort by Otten. And now Petrenko running hard. Inside. Well done, Otten, to back up. And then kick down the line. He was exhausted. Adelaide needed a bit of luck. Poor Pleasure to Tippett. He's got to look up and find something. He's got a man to centre half forward, but he couldn't get there. Poor Pleasure back to Tippett, but it's all a bit slow motion. And the kid coughed it up. And the Saints away. That wasn't 15, surely. Well, it's 50 now. He has given away some free kicks tonight, Vince, but gee, if that didn't look 15 anyway.
It's a compounded error, but at the same time.
Yes, I think that was even shorter than the one was not paid.
Petrenko to Taylor earlier on, yeah.
The umpire just saying there that he clearly blew the whistle, and you do have to play to the whistle, I suppose.
Couple more.
I think it makes it sweeter sometimes when you're in the rooms afterwards and you say, well, you had a good run tonight and you've won. Kill them though. Not your fault.
You get the 4 points. I don't reckon it matters what sort of run you've had.
Oh, I think sometimes it's nice to know they were on your side. Here's Goodwin. A little chip towards the defensive 50. Going back with wonderful courage was Ray. Socket off the ground by Jones. Well picked up by Doughty. Johncock. Little chip outside the defensive 50. Marriage goes back and takes the one-hander. Plays on quickly. Tippett, they're two big guys combining there. Tippett comes across the ground. And certainly they've missed Stevens tonight. It's really made the formation of their forward line difficult at times when they were rucking Tippett. Marriage, not really a proven goal kicker going forward. In fact, he finds that very difficult, that aspect of the game. Van Burle got it from Vince and it bounces off the chest of Thompson and goes out of bounds. 3.5 minutes, a little under to go. Margin is 20 points and the Saints have been magnificent tonight.
It was a tired effort, that one was by Thompson.
And Box pulled up a bit short too, Lee. They're exhausted, the Crows. It was a tough game against Collingwood last week, as the Saints had on the Saturday night, but clever by Goodwin. Little give from Marriage. He's been very good to Portpleasure, to a hot spot, but Gilbert, good stuff. Schneider got better as the game's gone on. Milne will love this. He can go bang to Cozzy. Kazitsky bravely sets Revold up.
Good run.
And the captain kicks the sealer. If it wasn't sealed already.
Yeah, well, you pointed out Revold was looking a bit sore early in the quarter, but I think right at the moment Bocker is sore again, and Revold really ran 100 metres from the side of the ground where the cameras are, the inner side of the ground, and Bock couldn't go with him. Good contest.
And he only had to be a metre away and it was too far, but he did all the work, but just wasn't able to find the intensity to get there.
So the big guns putting the finishing touches on this one. Revolt after Kazitsky did some wonderful work, just blocking the man coming back. Kazitsky perhaps could have got the free, didn't matter. Ray, Del Santo, and now the runner's gone out of the game. Geary liked his effort. Del Santo, a little chip towards half forward. Coming up was Otten, got a first on it. Vince kicks beyond the wing, down towards right half forward. And the mark is taken easily by Gilbert, just drifting across. The Saints now will just choke things down. Here's Ray. That's universal.
I don't think you'll find St.Kilda will be playing much centre corridor footy. They'll just keep going wide, which is their favoured game style anyway. But particularly at this stage of the game.
Marriage goes back and takes the mark and centres the ball. Johncock has to stretch.
Really did, didn't he? Just have a look at the Crows, what they've got at home in the first half of the season. St Kilda tonight, Geelong, Port Adelaide, Western Bulldogs, Carlton and Hawthorn, all here at Amy Stadium in the first 10 rounds. That is a very tough lineup.
When you've had that, when you're going to get that many home games, you think you'd say bring it on, but that opposition is quality, and they're going to have to be good to get a positive win-loss come halfway through the season.
And for the Saints, they've got Fremantle and West Coast in the next 2 weeks at Etihad Stadium, and they play 12 of their next 15 games there. They could get off to a fly here, and they'll be 2-0. As King goes towards Kazitsky and Goddard.
Holding, Brendan Goddard.
Good.
Holding the jumper.
Well, have a second look at that one. The umpire had a better view than we did, but
Goddard pushed Petrenko that far out of the contest that he couldn't get back to it. Petrenko must have grabbed a bit of Guernsey, as you can see there.
Started,
And really, Goddard should win that body contest 10 times out of 10, and he drew the free kick from Petrenko.
And good kick. So the Saints actually getting right away now, late.
We haven't seen all that much tonight, and they've got the game won now, St Kilda, but the ability actually to get back into the centre square. Both sides have really defended the centre square really well, but that was a situation where St Kilda went from the wing back into the centre square, straightened up their attack, and at least the ball goes quickly into the dangerous deep in area.
Goddard kicking the goal.
Your guess is as good as mine, Dan.
No idea. I'm guessing handcuffs, but I don't know what it means.
Xavier Clark?
The X-Man. That's an X. Oh, okay. That's lateral.
I don't know.
Spent the week with them, but right at the end, they pull a move on us we don't know anything about.
I think it means something.
I think it does.
It definitely means something.
Yeah. Goddard. I tell you what, their performance tonight says something as Jones goes to half forward. This is a bold start to the season by the Saints. Very impressive last week, falling a long way behind, then storming back into contention. And tonight, they've got the pieces. A lot of people have thought that for some time, but for whatever reason, quite often with the Saints, the sum of the whole has been less than its parts, but tonight it's starting to come together. The Saints have started 2-0 4 times in the past 30 years. That tells you something. Graham goes back and takes the mark. We're down to 9 seconds.
It's always a good effort when you can come to Amy Stadium against the Crows and kick 15 goals. They're not an easy team to score against.
It's all over. Friday night football. I'm talking about that record. The Saints start 2-0. I think Bok probably took the prize against Revolt, but that was a Pyrrhic victory in the overall scoreline. St Kilda 15-11-101 have defeated Adelaide 10-9-69. Terrific then following the Saints through the week with their match committee.